All right, we are live. Welcome to a new episode, new edition of the Fundamentally Sound podcast. I'm your host, Austin Serrata, joined by my wonderful guest, the man, the myth, the legend, Joseph Brummer. How's it going, pal?
Hello.
We've been talking for a little while, but you just asked me about the snow and stuff like that. But how have you been? How have you been?
Been good. It's cold here in Texas. That's where both of us live. Like really cold, colder than, Alaska and places like that. But
Facts.
we're living. Luckily, the electricity has not gone out
That's
yet
where
in
both
my
of us
house.
live.
Ooh,
Really cold, colder than. Sorry,
I
I
can
have
hear
to put on
that.
Facebook. Yeah, I had to put on Facebook. I have to put it on because I can't see the comments for some freaking reason on StreamYard. So
Hmm,
I have to bring up the Facebook chat if I want to see Facebook comments. My
weird.
fault. I apologize.
But no, we're fortunate right now to not have to deal with anything, at least in my household. And so hopefully everyone in Texas can stay warm. Power gets back on sooner than later. But we're
Yeah,
here.
praying for everybody out there. It's crazy. I'd say this is kind of like a wake up call for a lot of people. You don't really understand. Like you don't know you got it good until it's gone. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So anyway, um, you know, my heart just goes out to the people that are trapped in this weather, and I hope that everybody found a nice warm shelter. That's all I'm trying to say. But with that being said, let's go ahead and move on. The NBA All Star voting ends today. You want to go ahead and we dabbled on this topic, but do you want to go ahead and let me share my screen? We'll talk about it. And there we go, share
By the way, today's
screen.
Tuesday at 7:30 Central Time.
Yeah, what about it? Oh yeah. Well, I mean,
I'm just messing with you.
hold on.
I just figured that out. But no, we can
There you
continue.
go.
What are we going to start with? Are we starting with our all-star picks? What are we going with?
Okay, yeah. So let's just go ahead. Let's go down the line.
Here we go.
Okay. I showed it. There's my screen. This is right now the second returns for the All Star voting put on by AT&T. Here is the West guards and the East front court, which I hate how they set this up. But oh wait, I'm
Wait, no,
I'm
this is
dumb.
this is West for
I'm
all.
dumb. Yeah, this is West for all. I'm dumb. I'm dumb. It's not been a
Hey,
wonderful day
you're
in my
not
world.
dumb. You made mistakes. It's okay. We're moving
Everybody
on.
makes mistakes.
We're
Thanks,
moving
Drew.
on.
I appreciate it.
We're all
No,
good.
yeah, this is just West. Everything West. So chances are, like Drew was saying earlier, they're probably going to take about 15. So chances are that the 15 most rewarding out of this bunch right here, because fan voting plays a huge factor. NBA executives, NBA analysts, and writers also have a say in who gets in. So even though, like for instance, even though Klay Thompson is higher than CJ McCollum, they're not going to vote Klay Thompson over CJ McCollum because Klay Thompson hasn't played a single game. Same with Alex Caruso. They're not going to select Alex Caruso. Even if he jumps up all the way up here, they're not going to put him in front of CJ McCollum, even if he has played less games because he's been way more productive than Alex Caruso, who comes off the bench and is just I guess second secret weapon um, for the Lakers. I guess you can call him that.
And another thing to kind of let everyone else know, it's not just whoever has the most votes get in. For example,
Right.
Zion is sixth in front court, however, would be
Mm-hmm.
fifth in guards. Technically, you would have Christian Wood higher than Donovan Mitchell in the guards because of the numbers, but
Yep.
you do have to take an equal amount of guards to front court, or maybe a little more of the other to fill up. But
So,
um,
for instance,
yeah,
they're going to have two starting guards and they're going to have three starting front court members. Then they're just going to go off. They're going to even the team out from then on there. Now, at the end of the day, it's the NBA's sort of last call for who gets in. Let's be real here. But yes, like Drew said, there's probably going to be like three more guards that are on the bench, if not maybe four. and there's going to be the same amount, 4 or 5, that are over here. But like he said, these guys are probably going to get cut off in a sense if we're just going by voting. But they all have higher votes than these guys over here. But it's hard to
So
explain. But yeah,
let's just start because I know that a lot of it is very simple. Like we know LeBron's making it, we know Curry's making
mm-hmm,
it, we know Alex
mm-hmm.
Caruso's not making it. We pretty much know, like
Clay
Carmelo
Thompson's not making
Anthony's
it.
probably not making it.
Probably not.
Um, Off the rip to start off, what I think is maybe the biggest talking point is the guards from the West having to start 2 of the 3 because it's a huge tier list. You have Steph, Luka, Lillard, and everyone else. But from that being said, you can only start 2. And I know that we have Nick as a co-host of this podcast. He is very adamant about one of these 3 players over the rest. Luka technically being a point guard, but yes, a really good shooting guard. So the other 2 being point guards. Who would you take as your top 2? I guess rank those 3 and most deserving for all-star purposes, not just who do you think the better player is, because obviously we're voting all-stars. We're not voting best player.
Of course, of course. Yeah, because if you're voting sitting here best player, then like half these guys aren't making it. You know what I mean? Like Chris Paul, in my opinion, is better than Devin Booker, John Morant, Donovan Mitchell. Makes more of an impact, but he hasn't had that impact this season that Donovan Mitchell, John Morant, and Devin Booker's debatable. But John Morant and Devin Booker have been so much more utilized and so much more impactful for their teams. Like that's why they're up there right now. They're all stars right now in terms of best player overall. I would put Chris Paul above all 3 of those. But my 2, just my 2, I gotta go Steph and Luka. Like you said, Luka he can play the 1 and the 2 and even the 3 if you need him to. If you want to go small ball guard heavy, Luka's a very good 3 small forward. He can play the small forward. So I definitely think that I can see them going Steph and then putting Luka 2. Talking about deserving, probably just because I just know that Dame and Steph are just on a tear right now. I can see both of them starting over Luka because Luka's currently shooting like in the low 30s on 3, but he's still averaging career highs in points, points, assists, steals, and blocks, I believe, or maybe it was just steals. Regardless, I can see Steph and Luka as the starting. But Dame deserves to be starting over Luka because of just the tear that he's been on since CJ McCollum and Yusuf Nurkic, the injuries. But that's my opinion.
No, I actually agree with everything that you said. I mean, I think Steph's making it in as a starter, not only due to the votes that we see on the board, but just due to him now showing that he can still put up a lot of stats and impact when he doesn't have a huge surrounding cast and he's Steph Curry. He's great.
Mm-hmm.
Luka is going to get the hit that I think might have Lillard surpass him, which would be to the fact of his team not being as winning, as of late. And it almost looks like, the Dallas Mavericks have been in really tight games and have not won those tight games. And it's supposed to fall on Luka, whereas Lillard has been in tight games and has kind of pushed them over the edge to get the win. I think that Lillard is deserving to make it over. However, I think that they might put Luka ahead just due to the fact that he's kind of a 2 guard and also a 1 guard. And, people want him to be MVP caliber. He's had a little slump, but if you're talking just like all year, I think Luka, is a more talented guy. So that's an interesting one, and to see kind of how it plays out, because those 3 players are by far the best in the guards for the West.
So here's because Curry got a slow start to the season. I mean, he was out all last season, breaking up the rust. Since getting off to a slow start, Steph is averaging 35 and 6 assists, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 50% from the field, 44 from 3, 93% from the free throw, and 66.9 team share percentage. He's averaging a higher points per game and team share percentage than his unanimous MVP season. Like he's just a lock. He's a lock at the one because Steph only plays the one. He's a lock at the one. But I mean, Luka's just getting in just because he's bigger. He's a bigger guy. He gets more rebounds. That and he's just he's just a better playmaker than Dame, in my opinion. So I just think that he just automatically gets in. The only thing that Dame's really got on him is his 3-point percentage by a mile, pretty much. Like I think it's close to 10%, I think. But I don't know. Luka just does more, in my opinion, right now. And he's really on a team, yes, where he needs to do it, but so is Dame, and Dame's not averaging his numbers. So I'm not going to get into that debate. But moving on, your 3 front court starters. Well, first off, time out. So, like we said, once the starters are picked, you're going to have reserves. So, out of those guards, Donovan Mitchell, looks like Donovan Mitchell, John Morant, and Devin Booker are pretty much locks to make it. At this point, would you put anybody else over those 3, or even say Chris Paul makes it 2 for some reason? Maybe they put in four guards, but I could actually see it because that'd be 2 point guards and 2 shooting guards, and Devin and Donovan, and then point guards being John and Chris. But do you think anybody else is deserving over those 4 guys?
No, not really. Unless you have anybody, I think you could bring up other guys, but it's just not enough to kind of get them to that tier list of who's in there, especially knowing that their voting would be so far lower. I don't think that they could get a push to get up higher. I think those are the next solid 3 to 4 guys that would be made. And then if you look at it, that's 7 guys rotating in for 2 spots. I just don't think that they would push out someone else over Chris Paul to be able to do that. So,
right. Okay. I just want to ask. I know it gets a little bit more I think, if I remember correctly, it gets a little bit more controversial on the East side with the guards. But I think that the West is just so locked in right now with these 7 guys as guards.
Right.
With Chris Paul being that fringe guy at this point. But moving on to the front court, who are your 3 front court starters?
I think it has to be those guys that are there.
Top 3?
Yeah, just because, whether Davis makes it as the 3rd spot or not, he's not going to be playing. And I don't think that Paul George, Zion, and definitely anyone behind them would be able to crack into Kawhi's spot. I mean, you're going to have Jokic at the center. LeBron would then get pushed to the 4, and Kawhi would be at the 3, and that's just solid. So yeah. I don't think that one's much of an argument, but you can't. So what's the interesting thing is, in my opinion, I think 1 through 5 is guaranteed, and even Zion, I think just the hype will get him to be that 6th spot. But if you're looking at the other side, for guards, usually you take less guards than front court players due to them only having 2 spots to rotate into. So Chris Paul, let's say you don't even take Chris Paul, you take 6 from the guards, you're going to need to take 7 or 8. But once you get past Zion, it's those guys, I really don't want to call them all-stars. I don't know how you feel about it personally, but it's I really just don't want to say this person was an all-star caliber player. I don't know. I just feel like Wiggins, Christian Wood, they've been playing well. I just don't think that they're playing at an all-star level that is saying, man, this person is a franchise player, or this is an all-star on the team, whether you have 2 all-stars on the team. I just don't feel like these are players that are really deserving of being an all-star. I don't know what your opinion is on that, but it's just going to be really interesting because they're going to have to take more players in that area.
Yeah. So here's a quick, because I was sitting here talking to you earlier about this. Andrew Wiggins, I didn't think deserved to be in. Looking at it now, 2nd in isolation points per possession this season, shooting 55% from the field, and he's averaging career highs in field goal percentage and 3-point percentage. But I don't think that gets him over. B.I. definitely deserves to be in there, be in that conversation. I'll look his numbers up real quick, but B.I. deserves it over Christian Wood and Andrew Wiggins any day of the week. I just I don't know how Brandon Ingram consistently gets overlooked. I will always say that he's an all-star caliber more than Christian Wood, Andrew Wiggins, and Carmelo Anthony at this point in Carmelo's career. He's averaging 24 points, shooting 47% from the field, 5 and 5. Like, I don't know how, like, what more you can ask of from a guy. Like, he's the only one, though. I can see what you're talking about. Andrew Wiggins, not what you would sit here and say, like, I want to see him in the All Star game. Christian Wood, same thing. Carmelo Anthony, same thing. But Brandon Ingram's the only one that I sit here and think, I want to see him in the All Star game. I think he deserves to be in the All Star game, but he is just in such a crowded front court in the West that I think he's just going to get snubbed. So
Yeah, I definitely understand, and the biggest knock is the record, and I think the big word is impactful, right? Like
true.
you have to say, okay, yeah, this person has this stats, and he's leading in this, right? You're like, we'll talk about Bradley Beal in a second, but at the end of the day, if your team's not winning, if you're not impacting your team, impacting the game, you're not going to be able to do something. That's why the MVP is usually some player on the winning team. And we're going to talk
Right.
about that later. Well, Brandon Ingram is on one of the worst teams in the league. Zion has already taken a spot for that team being the best player. And so it's really hard for him to be able to show that he's impactful to his team. Now, Andrew Wiggins has Steph, and Christian Wood is kind of their main player, although he does have other all-star like players on his team. So it's just very tough to kind of put it all together. But I do I agree with you on just the fact of like when you have this idea of an all-star, right? You're like, okay, he looks like Brandon Ingram. He has these talents. He has these skills. He's able to be something great, go up to the next level. He has the abilities to do that. But then you also have to say, has he done that? And to say that you can translate all of those small little things. Oh, he's great at shooting. He's tall. He's lengthy. He can dribble and use his speed, whatever. At the end of the day, if you don't win games, you're not impactful to your team, it's going to be hard.
I can see that, and I really can. Moving on, so we're gonna go up here to the East. This is where it kind of gets a little hairy because the East is just so all over the place. Honestly, we're trying to still figure out who's good, who's fake, like who's a contender, who's a pretender. Like it's just one of those things, man. The East is actually so unpredictable this year; it's ridiculous. Um, Give me your starting guards. I really want to know.
Okay. So it's super weird because, like we were just saying, Bradley Beal, he's leading the league in votes and points, mainly points, and he's not impacting his team, right? But he's a stat monster, right? It's like Westbrook, right?
I wouldn't say that. I would say that, like, he's the only good one. I mean, you look at it.
Right.
They have nobody good on that team. Like, you can only do so much. You can drop 50 a game, and that team is still so garbage.
Right. And so I think from that sheer fact, you have to put him as a starter, which is, I don't know. I like Bradley Beal. I just would never, when you talk about who's the best point guards, shooting guards, whatever in the league, like if you have to get your starting 5 or starting 10, like I just wouldn't put him in there. But due to the fact of this year, stats, everything, you have to put him in there. That kind of opens up a lot because now you can really find a point guard and stuff. And at that point, I'm going James Harden at my starter. I'm not putting Kyrie in there. I don't even want to knock Kyrie on the fact of him having to take time off because due to his mental health and everything. But when you look at Harden is leading the league in assists. Even Kyrie went to him and was like, dude, you're the point guard. You are it. This Nets team is turning to more Harden and KD. KD's going to score more points. Harden's going to assist more. Harden's going to run the offense through himself.
Most triple doubles out of this on this team.
Right.
Like he is.
And I think it's great for Harden, the person himself, to be put in this role because he was such a person of like, look, I am great. I just need to be in a winning area.
Yes.
And now that he's not the top guy, this ego, this everything, it's off of him. He can play his game. He doesn't have to ISO ball the whole time. He's able to have shooters around him that can alleviate some pressure. So when it is his time, it's not like, oh my God, I have to do this or else we're going to lose. It's like, some extras. So those are my two. And I do want to point this out and ask you. I feel like Trae Young is really low down on this list. I don't know what you think. I haven't been following Trae Young too much this season, but
Right.
what do you like? Do you think Zach LaVine and Jaylen Brown has been doing really well, but do you think that Zach LaVine should be over Trae Young in the voting?
So, it's very tough. It's so debatable. First off, I just want to agree with you on the starting guards. Bradley and James are my starters as well. I mean, James has been more of a point guard than Kyrie, so I think that he deserves to take that one spot. But I can see Kyrie getting in over James as a starter just because of his name. That's it. But James Harden has the most assists. He leads the team in assists. He's going to come out with more assists every single game, barring like a couple outliers, than Kyrie. So it's just like Kyrie's just there. Here you go. Here's the ball. You can ISO, do your thing, get 20 points. When James comes off the floor, you're the point guard, get us 1 or 2 assists, and then cue James whenever he comes back on. You know what I mean? So I just think that James deserves it over Kyrie, but Kyrie, I think, is going to be the starting point guard whenever it's all said and done. But Jaylen Brown, no doubt about it whatsoever. This man is more deserving or being at this level than Zach and Trae. Zach has averaged career highs in literally almost everything across the board in terms of shooting and just other like defensive stats that are just pointless. But I definitely think that it comes back to that Bulls team is probably at the same level, if not slightly beneath the Hawks. And I just think that it's hard. I don't know which way to go because you look at it, Zach makes a more impact in wins, but Trae keeps Atlanta in the game when they're down because he's got that like clutch factor. So it's just like, it's so hard. I'm going to give the slight nudge. Yes, I think that Zach deserves to be over Trae just a slight bit, just because Trae's got like so many other people, like so many other budding stars like John Collins and DeAndre Hunter's been really good this season. Kevin Huerter's always just his 3-and-D self. Clint Capella is just an absolute monster. So I just got to give it, and I don't know their records. Oh, here it is, right here. Points, rebounds, assists, threes, field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, free throw percentage, field goal efficiency percentage, team share percentage, player efficiency rating, and win percentage. That's for Zach LaVine career highs this year. So I just got to give it to him just a little nudge. Nothing too serious. I'm not coming out right. And here's another stat. The Hawks have lost 7 of 8 since DeAndre Hunter's injury. DeAndre Hunter is a very good player. I understand, you take one player out, the other 3 that I just mentioned should carry the load, but I mean, I guess he's kind of the glue. But regardless, forget all the things that I just said about the Hawks. I just think Zach makes a bigger impact than Trae Young. But that's just beating around the bush. That was a long story. Going over front court, give me your 3.
Those three right there.
Okay, yeah. There's no reason to even consider any of these guys as starters. MVP candidate, always in the MVP conversation, even though he's really not this year. And then KD, the best comeback of all time from Achilles tear, averaging 30+ points per game. It's unfair. That man is unfair. He's a cheat code. Tatum, Butler, Adebayo, Sabonis, Julius Randle, Gordon Hayward's putting up numbers, Jeremy Grant's putting up numbers. Who makes it in? Give me 3 and then a borderline 4, because I know it's going to be a borderline 4 because you never know what's going to happen here. I think they're going to go big heavy because these guards are just not it, in my opinion. I think the bigs are better than the guards this year in the East.
Okay, so I will be going Tatum due to just look at the votes. It's like another tier in between. From that point, I think you put Bam, you put Butler, those will make it. And I actually put my fourth as Julius Randle. I
I
mean,
figured you
as
would.
much
Yeah.
as Sabonis, like he's doing well, like Julius Randle is just like I think in fantasy
Killing
he was
it.
like the number one guy in fantasy. Like he's just putting up
He's top
stats.
10 without a doubt.
He is well, I think at one point he was number one, like early on in the
Yeah,
season.
he was very early in the season for like I think the first like 15 games he was
Right.
number one.
So he is somebody that like if you just look at his career, you're like, this guy's reaching his peak. He's killing it right now.
Coming into his prime.
And if you don't kind of acknowledge that now, he's never going to get an all-star. But I think that especially if you look at the votes, it's within 10,000 votes. And so I think Julius Randle takes it over. Even you could put Gordon Hayward, I guess, kind of in that conversation too. I don't think Jeremy Grant is anywhere close in that conversation, but I would put Randle as that fourth, and I would actually like to lock him into that and not take,
Like
if you look at that point, that's 7 on front court. You would have to take 8 guards to make a 15-man roster. I don't know how many exactly that they're taking with injuries here and there, but you're looking at the other side. Are you going to dip into Derrick Rose? You're going to dip into Westbrook. It's like I'd rather take Randle. So
yeah,
what do you have?
23, 11, 6 assists, shooting 48% from the field, 41% from 3, and 80% from the free throw line. He's the only player with 20, 10, and 5 on 40 plus 3-point percentage in the season since Larry Bird. I mean, those are crazy comparisons. That's crazy. Those are crazy numbers. I mean, he definitely deserves to be an all-star. And you know what? Since you said that, they might take both. They may take Julius and Sabonis, to be honest with you. I mean, it's just one of those things. We're just going to have to, at the end of the day, we're going to have to see what happens. But moving on, I have to agree with you on every single thing that you said. We'll look up the NBA MVP ladder real quick, MVP race, while I find it. There we go. Race to the MVP ladder. So, where is it?
The old Kia Optima.
Kia Optima. I've never ever heard anything. Okay. I'm assuming this is it. Maybe. Oh, okay, here we go. So right now we got LeBron James leading the pack. As of right now, this was February 12th, so 4 days ago. They don't update it. They update it weekly. So this is obviously it's coming out. The newer ladder's coming out in a few days. But as of right now, LeBron James, we'll give him the bump: 26 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists. Joel Embiid, 29, 11, 1, and 1. That's insane. Jokic, we'll do top 5 right now, and we'll leave it at that. And then we'll debate whether or not people deserve to be in or not. But Jokic at 3, 27, 11, 9, and 2 steals. We'll go with that. KD, 30, 7, 5. Ridiculous. Kawhi at number 5, 27, 6, 5, and 2 steals per game. Drew, who is your MVP? And out of that list, do you think that's the right list? Do you think that people are being... Here's your next 5 right here. That's your next 5 right there. Is there anybody in... first off, give me your MVP. And is there anybody in this next 5 that deserves to be ahead of anybody on the first 5?
Sorry, I was kind of doing something on my thing. The 5 in order were LeBron, Embiid, Jokic, Durant, and who was 5? Was it Kawhi? Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
I would say this. The way that I have it is I would switch Leonard out for Giannis as the 5 that should be considered a possibility to win the MVP this year. I just don't think that Kawhi has a chance. We can talk about that if needed. I think if we're saying that the race ends today, that the MVP should go to Joel Embiid. I think that I agree with almost a lot of the rankings that they had, that kind of LeBron could be what they call the front runner is. And that's just due to, like, if you look at Embiid's, career and how their team is number one, like you just don't know if that's going to sustain for so long, right? Embiid has
Yeah.
never played at this caliber before. This is an average year for LeBron. And so the
Which is
ability for
sad
both of
because
those,
it's a great year.
right. But Embiid is able to, we don't know if he can sustain that. LeBron, if he coasts, he's going to end with this exact stat line.
Mm.
So that's how I want to make sure that the 1 and 2, if you're saying the race, sure, LeBron can be number one, but by far Embiid is number one right now, basically averaging 30 points, 10 rebounds, shooting ridiculous, efficiency ridiculous. He would win it for sure, especially because his team is the top team. I think if his team goes down, is not the top seed than that. Outside of those two, I think that Durant could get into the conversation due to just overall scoring, but that's going to be tough because if you're not the actual top scorer in the NBA, you don't even win the scoring title. That's kind of going to be the only thing that's going to really bring your team ahead, especially with all of your side players. And so he would need to win the scoring title for him to, I think, be in consideration. And then I think that you have to put Giannis in the top 5. He won it 2 years back to back. He's the current reigning champ. He has gone far in the playoffs. Kawhi, last year with that, choking it against Denver, you don't like that part. And Giannis, I mean, if you compare him to Embiid or to Jokic, those two I would put almost at like 4 and 5. I would have Durant at 3 because Giannis is averaging 2 more points. Jokic is averaging 3 more assists. They're dead even on rebounds. And so at that point, you could go either way. I think there's so much time for your team to look better, for you to add some stats, some big games here and there when you play against over 500 teams. But that is I know I was going in a bunch of different directions, but those were my kind of 5 MVP race. There's a lot going on, a lot of time left. But like I said, if it ends today, Embiid. But I think that if LeBron can sustain this crazy 3-point percentage that he has, then he could definitely do something with Anthony Davis out.
I think that I will agree with you. First off, foremost, I think that Embiid's going to win it. Here's why I think it's going to win it. This right here, you said he has a crazy 3-point percentage right now, shooting way above his average. I'm not saying that, the old dog can't learn a new trick. He's the greatest player of our generation. Second greatest player of all time. I'll just say that, but whatever. Anyway, but I just think that right now Embiid is just playing absolutely out of his mind. They're going to start sitting LeBron more these next 2 to 3 weeks, so that way, he's not too emotionally drained. This is where you see the Lakers lose a few games, like a few more games than they're used to at this point, because AD is going to be out. So I think that LeBron's numbers will slowly decline. It'll probably be probably the same points per game, like 25, 24, but I think it'll kind of creep down to 6 or 5 in terms of assists, and then I think it'll be about 6 or 7 for rebounds. But that's why I'm sitting here saying that Embiid doesn't look like he's slowing down whatsoever. He's younger. He's on in my opinion, a better all-around team, and they're just rocking on all cylinders right now. Only lost 1 game with this starting 5 right here. Literally only 1 game with that starting 5 on the court, starting the game. But I don't know. I just think that Embiid can very much sustain this because he's younger. He doesn't need the rest. The Philly needs him, or if they don't, if they take him out, they have a higher percentage chance of losing. And in the East, I don't think you want to do that. But mine would be, in my opinion, Embiid. Then you would go down to LeBron. Then you would go to Jokic. This is beyond impressive for a big, but I don't know. I don't have the willpower to put LeBron at 3. I just don't. I'm not having either one of these players. I don't want Kevin Durant. I don't want Kawhi Leonard. I as well want Giannis at 5, but I want Damian Lillard at 4. Let me just say that
Wow.
Luka
Wait,
definitely
so over
is got
who?
my.
Oh, so who are you taking out? Sorry, you're
I'm
taking.
taking I'm taking KD and Kawhi out. Like
Oh, wow.
KD's been very very impressive. Greatest comeback we've ever seen from an Achilles tear. Greatest comeback we may have ever seen from a major injury. Period. But this man Dame without CJ and Nurkic the last 10 games, 32 points, 8 assists, shooting 5 threes a game, 45% from the field, 40% from three, 94 from uh from the free throw line. His team's in his fifth in the most competitive freaking conference in the league. I just gotta give it to him, man. I hate to say it and I hate to not include Luca in there. Luca's playing absolutely freaking phenomenal. Like I said, he's averaging. I just saw right career highs in points per game, 29. Assists per game at 9. He's averaging 9 rebounds per game, 1 steal, 1 block. Career high in blocks. Career high in field goal percentage. Career high in free throw percentage. Shooting 34% from three, which it says career high there, but I don't believe that. But I just think that Damian Lillard has made such an impact right now that he just deserves to be in the top five. I just Giannis is leading that Bucks team to probably being the biggest contender out of the East, even though we probably know that they're going to choke it. I just I don't know. I can't put KD, who's been great but also like been average at the same time, and then I can't put Kawhi in there, who is just he's not showing me more, if that makes sense. Like he's put up these numbers the last 3 straight years. His team's probably gonna choke because it's got PG on it. They don't have Trez anymore, Montrezl Harrell. So it's like I don't know, man. I don't like putting Kawhi in that conversation. He's my second favorite player. So once again, I'm taking both of my favorite players in the NBA out of this conversation because I can be rational. And once again, KD is averaging 30 and 7 and 5, but at the same time, he's done nothing spectacular. And his team is not performing the way it should. So, partially due to defense. So, with that, I have to give it to Giannis and Dame. Steph is borderline there. So is KD. But then I would even go as far as putting Kawhi even 9 or 8 or 9, honestly. That's just me.
No,
But
yeah, it's definitely a hard conversation, and I think you were kind of talking about it, but not addressing it directly. So I want to bring it up is the whole fact of like we had this argument before. I don't know if it was off air or on air, but it's the idea of an MVP and them taking into consideration stats or taking into consideration the impact of playoffs and championships, right? It's like
right.
we know Kawhi is one of the best players in the league. Like if you start talking
Top
about
five,
who
without
is
a
the
doubt.
best player, Kawhi is great. He can defend both sides. But when you talk about, yeah, we've seen that before, and he's not like winning these games, and he choked it in their team, and are they on a winning team? Like
Right.
Giannis has won it 2 years in a row. He's not going to win it 3 years in a row. They've choked it
Not.
in the playoffs. It's like the hype is over. It's going to move to someone else. And so when you're looking at a player, I think Jokic gets a little bump over, players like Giannis and other players due to last year's like playoff run and obviously putting up stats, but then you also say, oh, well, Jokic is on a losing team. So that gets him a, drop down, whereas Embiid gets a jump up because he's on a winning team, right?
Well,
If I
see,
guarantee you,
I don't agree with that part right there. If I understood it right, I don't agree with the fact that Jokic is where he's at because of his stats. I definitely think that he's there because I don't. Where are the Nuggets right now in the
oh,
in the
they,
standings? Do you know?
I have it up right here. They are the 7th seed behind the Spurs.
See, so they're not doing terrible, but they're not
Right.
doing great. You know what I mean?
But I guarantee you this: if you kept the same stats of these players are having,
Hmm.
and obviously it's hard because when you have stats, then it's like that's your impact, right? But if you
Hmm.
have that versus Embiid and you switch their winning percentage or their records, right? You have the Nuggets as the number 1 seed.
I can see that, yeah.
I think they were last year. They've been up in that conversation before.
Yeah.
And the 76ers at like the 7th or 8th seed looking for a playoff spot. The conversation is a lot different.
You're right. Just because everybody rides that wave, you know what I mean? They ride,
and that's what I wanted to address.
The hype. And I hate it so much. I hate people riding the hype of certain players, but like at the same time, it's like Jokic doesn't have any hype right now to ride, but his stats are speaking for themselves because no big's ever done this. You know what I mean?
Right, and it's like it's almost like you said, the hype. It's the flashiness. Like Jokic, I want to compare him to almost like Duncan. Like he's not going to go out there and he's not going to just slam on people. He's not going to go out there and do something crazy. He's going to stand at the elbow. He's going to pass it for an assist. He's going to go down low like the picture shows right here, a simple layup, right? He's not going to do something crazy like Embiid's doing. And his stats, yeah, there might not be like a few points here and there, but like he's definitely impacting the game. Not saying that he is deserving right now of the MVP, but I just wanted to address kind of the whole situation. It's interesting why you brought out Kawhi, why you're taking Durant out. You know, it's like you're bringing these other players in because they are either impacting more, winning more, putting up better stats. And then there's something else about this narrative that adds it all too. And then that's why it's very fun and interesting. Like just running through it real quick. You got Embiid leading with crazy efficiency and his team is winning. So that's why he's number 1. LeBron,
and he's putting up,
age,
and he's putting up the stats in the stats
right.
overall.
And that's why he's number
29,
1.
11, and he's doing everything on the defensive side. So it's like,
right.
So like that's why I have him up there because not only is he winning, but he's literally balling out and he's got that hype to him. So it's just like,
100%. You have hype, you have stats, you have record. LeBron, you have hype due to the age. I'm going to put that age as the hype now. And you know, the greatest of all time chasing that is a hype thing. You have record, very good. And then stats are average, but due to the age, kind of get a little bump. And that's why he's kind of 2, but we know he could pop off. Then you're moving on to like Jokic. That's why he's at 3. You have the age, or not the age, sorry. You have the record kind of down, nothing flashy. Stats are there. You know, team needs to be winning, right? You got Durant. He's got supporting cast. He's putting up crazy efficiency, crazy scoring, but he's not scoring the most. So that's why the hype is only because of the injury, right? If he was scoring the most amount of points like Bradley Beal, we'd put him in there. Then we got Kawhi,
no, he'd be
playoff.
3.
You know, you got playoff. You got Giannis. You got MVP back-to-back-to-back. No, they're not going to do that. So I totally understand your situation. You're like, let's put Lillard in there. Let's put, Doncic in there because their hype, their stats, their winning, their whatever it is something new. It's something different that is allowing them to get into that conversation. Whereas unless you are leading in all 3 of those categories, like we're saying, just the fatigue of it is going to get a player out of there because we're like, but we know you're not going to win it in the end. Yeah, we know, but you put up the stats, but it's just stat chasing. So it's such a fun conversation, and it's going to be interesting to see if these players can sustain it for the long term.
Right. So stopping the share, we're going to go ahead and we're going to go on to our last topic before we do a little Sporcle event. So Jalen Johnson, for those who don't know, is the star freshman out of Duke University. University of Duke? I don't know.
I think it's Duke University.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. Out of Duke, period. He has chosen to forego his season for the rest of the season. 3 weeks left in the regular season. Forego the rest of the season for the NBA draft after not starting the last 3 games that Duke have lost. What does this say about Jalen Johnson? Does this paint the narrative that he's a quitter? Is this a smart move? They're not going anywhere. Is he kind of like, is this too soon? Right time? Thoughts and opinions?
Well, no, I think the initial thought of a lot of the audience and the press and media was he's a quitter. Have you heard basically his story though of high school and how his junior year moving into senior year he kind of forego a lot of time at IMG Academy and the McDonald's All-American game he didn't play in. And so he's done this kind of foregoing
right.
the end of the season before. I would definitely put it into the side of quitter. Now, I know there's a bunch of things you could kind of talk to him about. It's like, you're not winning. You're not going to make the playoffs. You could get hurt. There's a pandemic going on. But with all of it of Coach K, with all of it of previous history and just everything, it's like, if you're an NBA guy, it's not going to help your draft to be like, wow, you wanted to put your career above everything else and stop the last three. It's like, what are you going to do if you're on our team and you're a star player? Like, are you just going to quit halfway through the season and tank? Are you like, if we're trying to sell tickets, like, we got to have you out there. You've done this twice before at the end of your kind of career at one location. So I definitely think it's painting more of a quitter mentality. I hate putting that word on there though, just
Facts.
due to, the COVID and a lot of different things. And, he's not getting paid. So it's like, why would you go out there? But at the same time, it's like, you have to have respect for your team. It's 3 weeks, finish it up, right? If you don't make the tournament, okay, whatever. If you make the tournament, yeah, go play. Like,
which there still is a chance because
Yeah.
there's the ACC tourney, and
Right.
Duke just always is there.
So I think I don't like it as a move personally.
I think he's going to fall in drafts because of it. I'm not going to say, I'm not going to slander him, say that, he's a quitter. Don't draft this guy. He's going to do it again. Did it once. He's going to do it again, et cetera, et cetera. No, I'm not going to say that. You didn't do this in the right fashion. You're going to slip on draft boards because of it. You could have gone about this all kinds of ways, but you decided to opt out after not starting 3 games when previously you were starters. You were a starter. Like, come on, man. You're just setting yourself up for failure. Like,
Right.
we don't have to even talk about it. Like, execs already know. Like, they see the writing on the wall. It's like they're starting to paint that narrative.
And they're going to go talk to Coach K. And you know that he's going to tell them the truth. He has so many connections in the NBA, especially with the Olympic team and stuff.
Facts.
Like, they're going to find the truth out, and it's not good.
Yeah, that's the thing. Super talented, though. Super incredibly talented. We'll still go in the first round. He's a great player, but he's going to fall in some drafts. I'm not going to lie. He could be put in a great situation where he falls to like a Celtics team or like a freaking, I don't know, like a Warriors team. Well, I mean, they have 2 draft picks this year. Like a Warriors team, a freaking Lakers team, Clippers team. He could, a Heat even, because they're not really doing too hot right now. So he could fall to those teams, and he could be put in a great situation where they got a great player, but we'll see what happens come into the season. But with that being said, Drew and I have played Sporcle. It is a sports trivia game. We've played Sporcle a couple times on his channel, Drew Brummer, youtube.com. Just for those who don't know, you see it on his name tag on the stream right now. That's what it is exactly on YouTube. Go check it out. But we played this a couple times. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again. For some reason, I forgot for like half a second. Chrome tab. Bam. There it is. Okay. Here it is. Can you name the active NBA All-Stars by the team they currently play for? So, let me take off. Let me clear because I have to type. So, this quiz was put on December 28th, 2020. We're going to go ahead and play it. 58, you got to stop. Got an 8-minute timer. You can change it. Oh, no, never mind. You can't change it. My fault. 8-minute timer out of 58. We're going to see how we do. So, Drew, you ready?
Let's go.
Okay. Hold on. Oh, interesting.
Scroll down.
Scroll down. Oh, my fault.
Oh, my goodness. We've wasted so much time now.
Oh, 7 seconds. Oh, yeah, Brooklyn Nets.
James.
James. Yep.
Type in James. Boom.
Yeah, Harden, maybe?
Yes.
Yep,
It's
there we go.
any player that has been an all-star in the past that is still currently playing. So
Kyrie.
you can do it by
Nope.
last names, by the way. On Sporcle, last names always work. So
Irving.
Irving,
There you go.
Durant, Harden.
Curry.
Oh, Harden's not over yet. It's gonna be DeAndre Jordan. I think he's made it before. So put
Jordan.
Jordan.
Jordan. There we go. Yeah,
Yep.
okay. Charlotte. Who's one off of Charlotte? Gordon
Oh,
Hayward.
Gordon Hayward.
Yeah, there we go. Cavaliers. Ooh.
Love.
Love.
And Drummond.
You're right. Oh,
Drummond.
you're right. Drummond.
Here, let's go in
There we
order. Let's start with the Hawks. Let's
Okay.
see if we can go in order.
Right?
Yeah, Young.
No. Young. Oh, my fault. Young. We may get a couple. No, never mind. Just one.
Millsap?
Millsap's not on that team. Millsap's not on that team. Capella. That's who it is.
No.
No? Really?
No.
Clint? No? Okay. Who else is on that team?
We can
I don't
move
know.
on from it. Celtics will be Walker,
Tatum?
Tatum, and has Brown made it?
Nope.
No.
Not Brown. Who is on that team? I'm gonna go blank. All right, moving on. Dallas, Doncic, Luka, Kristaps, Porzingis. Oh, dude. Gee. There we go. Okay, Denver Nuggets. Millsap. That's where Millsap comes. We should have put it regardless.
It's all good.
Jokic. Yeah. Detroit. Rose probably. Yeah, he's still
And
on
Griffin.
there. Griffin.
Like Griffin.
Yeah. Yes. Good stuff.
Thompson
Green.
and Curry. Oh, yeah, we put Curry already.
Yep.
Wall.
Rockets. Wall. Oh, Boogie.
Oladipo. Okay.
He's
Oladipo.
next. Yeah, he's
Got
next.
It's start of the season.
Sabonis. Yeah.
Sabonis,
Start of the
yes.
season. Start of the season. Kawhi.
Leonard and George.
Leonard. And George. Yep.
Go Davis and
Oh, right, Davis. How did I forget about that?
I got it. Rondo.
Is it really? No way. Oh, he's
Oh,
on the
that's for the
Hawks.
Hawks,
He's on the
though.
Hawks. Okay. Rondo.
Oh, who was
Who
it
else?
then?
Who's made it 3 times? Who? Trez? Harrell?
No.
No. I don't know next. Jimmy Butler?
Dwight Howard.
Howard. Wait. He's on Sixers. What?
Still got it.
Jimmy Butler. Who else?
Whiteside. No, well, Whiteside. I think he's on the
Nope,
he's on the Kings.
Definitely not.
Sorry, he's not the. It's Adebayo. Bam Adebayo.
Adebayo. God, Bam.
He's made it
Bam.
once, and then
No, not Kelly.
Goran Dragic.
Dragic. Yes. One more. Moving on to Kumbo.
I'm gonna listen.
Giannis. There you go. Okay, good stuff.
You got it,
Chris Middleton, your boy from A&M.
Oh, Lopez.
Bledsoe? Maybe? No.
Lopez?
Yeah. True. There's one more. Who's that point guard? Holiday.
Yes, Drew Holiday.
Yes, there we go. Okay, next.
Cat.
Towns. Yeah. Towns. There you go.
And
Russell.
yes. 2
There we go.
L's? Yeah. William,
JJ?
Ingram.
It is? Okay. Oklahoma.
Chris Paul. So Paul.
Not on there, but that's on the Suns. But yeah, I still.
Sorry. Who's their guy?
Horford.
Yeah.
That's who it is. Okay. Magic. Vucevic. There we go. Sixers. Simmons. And Embiid.
Yep.
Okay.
One
Devin
time. Oh,
Booker.
it's Booker, and then Lillard and Melo.
Why did I
Anthony.
put Melo? Why did I
Anthony.
put Melo?
Sorry.
Anthony.
I need
Yeah.
to start speaking in last names.
DeMar.
And Aldridge.
DeRozan. There we go. And Aldridge? Yes, let's go.
Yeah.
Van Vliet maybe, or is it Lowry? Lowry, and is it Van Vliet? Van Vliet?
No
Is it
way.
one word?
Are you sure
Nope.
it's not big? I don't know.
Marcus Gasol is the Lakers. Yo,
Oh!
we got it.
I almost just said just like say a Gasol, but I should have. Okay, do Donovan Mitchell and do Gobert. Did Gobert win one?
Yes, he did. Yep.
Okay,
And
and then
Wizards, Beal,
Westbrook.
West.
So we have 3 left.
We have 3 left. Yeah, we have 3 left.
So we have Celtics, Heat, and Raptors, and they've all won at one time. Did Tristan Thompson win it? I know he's on the Celtics.
Yes, he did. No, he didn't. No.
Yes, he did. No, he didn't. I'm trying to think Celtics. So they're bigs. Joe Johnson. I don't know. Trying to think of like old guys. But I guess it's one time. Okay, so we have Walker, we have Tatum, Brown. We've already tried.
Yeah.
No, is it not the small point guard that like? No.
Smart? No.
No, who was that small point guard that like went off for like a week? It was like a Linsanity thing. Anyways,
No. One of their bigs, maybe.
I feel like I can figure this out on the Heat.
Power
It's not
forward.
Duncan.
Who's the power forward?
For the
Tatum?
Heat or the Celtics?
Who's the Heat's power forward? Who's the Heat's starting 5? Hero, maybe? I don't think so. Yeah, no.
Bam and not Whiteside. Who was like there? Butler. Corver? Is Corver still there?
No,
No, but that's one time. It's whoever won it is like a recent guy.
Yeah.
Or like a one-time wonder. Oh my gosh. 30 seconds.
None? No. Bro, the Raptors. Siakam.
Siakam. Oh, wait, we got Sabonis. Yeah, it's going to be the weird names.
This is annoying too. This too. We got 10 seconds. Come on, man. Butler, Adebayo, Dragic. I don't know.
But like Jackson, Johnson, Smith. I don't know.
Iguodala and Jeff Teague, man. Really? Oh, they're old heads. Oh, they're old heads.
Iguodala. Man, that was fun though. I'm sad that we didn't get them all, but that was really fun.
I mean, come on. Jeff Teague and Andre Iguodala are very much not even on my list or my radar. All right. It was fun. We got 97%, and the average was 72%.
There we go.
Adam. All right. Well, with that being said, we're going to wrap up the show here. It's been about an hour. Drew, any closing comments?
Hi, my name is Drew Brummer. I have a YouTube channel at Drew Brummer. You guys know that. I'm going to post soon, actually. I'm trying to get back in. I'm going to have a video soon of how well I did predicting the season back when I started my channel. So that'll come out soon, and I'm going to try to switch some things up. But Austin, thank you again for having me on. Love talking with you. And y'all stay safe if you're in Texas, please.
Yes, please stay safe. FYI, if nobody's seen it, I have a personal channel as well now. AUS10 Austin CC. Yeah, it would have been boring if I would have put my full name. AUS10, so Austin, and then my last name Serrata. I've made I'm calling them live videos. It's kind of dumb, but I'm calling them live videos. I'm not calling them vlogs. I'm not calling them. I don't know. It's just vlogs is the closest thing, but. And then I actually have a snow day episode coming out soon. So that's going to be mine and my girlfriend's adventures in the snow. If you follow me on Instagram, you know what's coming, and that was crazy. That was wild. But be sure to hit that follow, like, subscribe button, and share it with a friend, man. It always helps. Always helps the channel. And with that being said, love and appreciate all y'all. and we will see y'all later. Bye.